While Jerome had been gone, Meek and I both had taken a shower. I'd gone first because I was faster and managed to get to the bathroom and lock the door before Meek had even known I had moved from his side. I didn't take long at all and was out in no time, which seemed to please Meek. While Meek showered, I slipped into a fresh goodnight and managed a short nap. It wasn't a very deep sleep, however, it was restful all the same. I reawakened when I heard the bathroom door open and rolled over to face that direction. That is when I saw Meek come out transformed from cute Mindylyn back into regular Meek. I kind of miss my big sister, but I guess having my big brother here is almost as good. I teased, which earned me a wet washcloth upside the head. Ew. I moaned as I rolled off the bed, preparing to throw the rag back at him. However, Meek had been faster and was on me before I had a chance to cock my arm for the throw. He grabbed me under my arms, lifted me off the floor, and threw me as if I were nothing more than a pillow. I hit the bed with a big bounce, and before I came down from the bounce, he had jumped on top of me and began to murder me via tickling. Ah! I screamed, no, no, stop, get off, nie weer. He sang out as he redoubled his efforts with the tickle torture. Nu. I screamed as tears began to flow along with my howl of laughter. Okay. Plelia ass. He kept it up for a bit more, making me cry, scream, pee and beg before finally giving me a double titty twister right before he hopped off me. You are a bully. I cried as I sat up and wiped away my tears. Yeah, he asked as he turned and acted as though he was going to jump on me again. No. I screeched and threw up my hand and rolled into the fatal position. He simply laughed and pointed threateningly at me. You better not. I said back. I need to take the Browns to the Super Bowl. Meek told me and then disappeared into the bathroom. I didn't need to know that. I grunted. I was so relieved to hear the door latch and lock. You just wait until you go to sleep later, I said aggressively. From behind the bathroom door, I could hear him laughing. I then told him in a softer voice so as not to have him hear me, yeah, we'll see who's laughing later. I heard that, he shouted through the closed door. Jerome was gone quite a while, but when he finally walked through the door, his arms were loaded down with plastic sacks of goodies. Meek is a booger brain, I announced loudly so Meek heard me too. Oh, is Meek back? Jerome asked while depositing his sacks on the other bed. Yes to both, I answered. Why's that? Jerome asked, and I wasn't sure to which he was referring, so I answered the booger brain one first. I answered with, he was trying to tickle me to death. Jerome, straight-faced, asked, did he succeed? No. I laughed. Ooh, that's too bad. I thought you might be like a sexy little zombie boy. Jerome joked while removing the contents from the bags. You hear that, Meek? I'm a sexy zombie boy. He also said little, was Meek's answer to that as he re-emerged from the bathroom, feeling safe that I wouldn't retaliate while Jerome was there. I gnashed my teeth and stomped my feet at having been bested by Meek yet again. Can I have my big sister back? I don't like Meek no more, I jokingly asked of Jerome. He simply chuckled. Jerome had bought us both board-style swimsuits, cool shirts, flip-flops, sunblock, hats, beach towels, sunglasses, and several other beach-related items. Jerome, this is way too much, Meek explained with excitement. From another bag he produced, takeout in white styrofoam restaurant takeaway containers. Each one consisted of scrambled eggs, 2 wedges of buttered toast, bacon, and we each had a small OJ to wash it all down. Alright, eat up and then we're going to turn my boys into ultra-tanned beach gods, Jerome announced with a clap of his hands followed by a double finger snap. Huh. I grunted with confusion because we'd already dyed Meek's skin. You'll see. Jerome hummed mysteriously. I'm already a beach god, I said with a straight face. Meek punched my hard. Ouch. I moaned. Meek then said with an angry-sounding chuckle, humble much? I gave him my meanest face as I rubbed the spot on my arm he'd hit. You mean I am going to get a second dye job? Meek asked Jerome. Boys, when I am done with you, your own mothers won't recognize you, Jerome announced with a triple snap of his fingers in Z formation. After eating, Jerome took us to the bathroom and placed shower caps on our heads. He then had us stand naked side by side in the tub as he proceeded to rub us down from head to toe with this stuff that looked like chocolate mousse and smelled like a rabies-infected coconut monster had just had a double shot of prune juice. I wish I could say that I didn't mind it when Jerome smeared the concoction on my genitals quite thoroughly, but I did. It made me feel, well, like we were doing something very bad. Thankfully, once Jerome announced me as done, those feelings went away. Dude, I am never going to eat coconut again. Meek complained with exasperation as he walked out of the bathroom, but naked and sporting his new been on the beach all his life, tanned look and about half a chubby, which he was trying to hide from me. If he had black hair, he would have passed for Mexican easily. Nah man, this is like the best smell ever. I told him, this is the smell of the beach, coconut, and the smell of the salty ocean mingled in the air. It didn't really smell good at all, but I like messing with Meek. Meek and I returned to the bathroom where the two of us stood, side by side and completely naked, before the hotel bath mirror that took up the whole wall behind the double sink. Doesn't look anything like me, he commented. Yeah, that's the idea, but you were cuter as Mindy Lynn. I teased. I'm sure she'll be back. He hummed as he flexed his muscles. I turned and admired my backside. I never would have believed that I could get any darker. Destiny. I mean, Jerome. You were right, we do look like two young beach gods who spend every waking hour of our lives in the tropical sun. I said very loud. Jerome appeared in the doorway to the bathroom, then surprised me with a package of swim diapers to wear under my board shorts. I thought these might help. He suggested. No way. Thank you. I exclaimed and surprised us both when I hugged and kissed his cheek. Jerome then got this disturbed look on his face as he said, "You are good boys and I wish I could stay to watch you win that championship, but I am afraid it is time that I go." "No." Meek whined, "Can't you stay? Please." "Sweet baby, I already missed several gigs bringing you boys out here. I have to get back to work." Jerome explained, "There are sad, lonely men out there that need Mama Destiny to brighten up their lives. I am going to miss you." I cried and hugged him again. I didn't even mind when he cupped my two round butt cheeks and lifted me off the floor for a warm goodbye hug. He hugged Meek much the same way, but this time he didn't lift him up like he had me. Jerome probably would have strained something if he had tried. Now, I've paid for this room for the week and I've left some money by the TV. Don't go swimming in the pool as the chlorine may bleach out the dye we used on your skin. He stopped talking for a moment as he tapped a finger repeatedly against the end of my nose. Also, remember to cream rinse on your hair each time you wash it. We said our goodbyes. We both cried a little and Meek gave Jerome one last hug. That's when I saw him push a white envelope into Meek's hand. Since we were naked, we couldn't walk Jerome to his truck. Well, I suppose we could have, but we'd have probably got a lot of unwanted attention. So Meek and I stood at the front window and watched Jerome and his freshly painted, white truck drive out of the parking lot.